December is all about the holidays, so this week's topic is one of my family favorites, potato pancakes. Let's do this. I'm Dani Lebovitz, a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and fitness enthusiast who loves to eat. Welcome to Dani's Delicious Dish, where we get serious about food, fitness, and living better. Food brings people together, it nourishes our bodies, and influences how we learn, grow, and heal. We're going to take you from the classroom, to the gym, to the market, to the kitchen. Everyone has traditional foods their family prepares over the holidays. So this week, we're going to make one of my family favorites. And I have a special guest with me today, my mother-in-law, Ruth.
Thank you so much for having me, Dani. I'm delighted to be here.
Oh, good. I'm going to put you to work, too.
Oh, I can't wait.
All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take a medium-sized onion. I'm going to cut off both ends. Now, I make my potato pancakes a little bit differently. Everybody has their own secret recipe. But I like to puree half of my potatoes and shred the other half. Now, today we're using russet potatoes. There are all kinds of potatoes that people use, but russet, in my opinion, are the best because they have the right starch content and provide the best final product. So, just finish up with this onion here. I'm going to slice this onion in half, and then I am going to just cut it into fourths. And I've already divided out the potatoes. Next, I am going to cut my potatoes in half. I want to make sure that they're in small enough pieces so that I can put it right into the food processor without any trouble. Just a rough chop of each of these. Two more. I'm using 2.5 pounds of russet potatoes today, so that is split. I'm all set. So Ruth, if you don't mind,
Sure.
while I am getting this prepped, if you don't mind prepping those potatoes.
All right.
So the first thing we're going to do with these potatoes is I'm going to use the puree function on my food processor. And I like to start with the puree because that has a lot of water content that we need to get out of it, so we can start that first. So place my top on, turn on my food processor, and start feeding my pieces in there to puree. All right, once that's pureed nicely, we are going to pour this mixture into a sieve. Now you can use a colander, but I like to use a sieve because of the small pieces in that puree, and this will help me get out as much of the fluid as possible. All right, now we're ready to add our other potatoes, and we're gonna shred them up.
How do these look, Dani?
Let's see. Oh, perfect. Thank you
good.
very much.
You're welcome.
All right, so now we are going to put our shredding piece on our food processor. Make sure that the blades are up. Place that on there. Pop the top on. Thank you, lovely assistant, for getting those ready for
you're
me.
welcome. Glad to
Cooking
do
is
it.
so much faster when you have assistants in the kitchen. And then just feed that into your food processor. All right, those look pretty good. Pull that off. Good. Get the potato inside there. And then actually, Ruth, if you don't mind, I'm going to have you start trying to pull some of the water out of here.
Okie dokie.
Pour that into the colander.
Glad to.
And get your hands into it.
Yep.
Adds a little something extra, makes
Sure.
it taste better.
Oh,
Made
sweet.
with love.
A sweetener.
All right, now I'm going to prep our dry ingredients. So next I am going to put a 1/2 cup of flour in a bowl, a teaspoon of baking powder to make it rise nicely. I'm adding a teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Mix that. Get any of those lumps out. Good. All right, next I'm going to take 2 eggs and whip them together. Give them a good scramble. Add that to my dry mixture. Mix that together. And then once this is well combined and our potatoes have been wrung out and are as liquid free as possible, then we're going to mix this dry and wet ingredient together and add the potatoes.
Let me know when you're ready.
All right, so now I'm going to add my oil to the pan. I'm adding 1/3 cup of canola oil, and then I'm going to turn my heat to medium-high heat and let that oil start to get warm in the pan. All right, how's that looking?
I think it looks good. You want to test it?
Let me see. Oh, that looks good.
Okay, great.
If you will just put it right into this pan over here. Great. Thank you.
Nice and messy.
Yep.
All right.
Great. And then if you will add in the pureed potato.
Okay.
Now, I like to add the pureed and the shredded because I just think it gives it a really nice texture. You can put it in.
All right.
Thanks. A lot of people will just do all pureed or all shredded, but I think this combination just gives it the right bite. So that looks mixed pretty well. We're waiting on that oil to look like it's warm enough, and we'll check it in just a sec. So there are 2 ways to know if your oil is ready to start cooking your potato pancakes. One, the oil might look like it's moving on top of the water, and the other, you can kind of hear it sizzling, but let's drop a little bit of that batter in. If it starts to crisp up on the sides, it's ready. All right, looks like we're ready to start. So I'm going to use 1/4 cup of measure. It helps me get just the right amount for my pieces. And I am going to make sure I spoon it in a little bit, bring it in for my edges to look nice when I put it in the pan. I'm going to lay it in the pan, flatten it out just a little bit. And you want to make sure that you don't overcrowd your pan because then you won't have as nice of a looking as a final product. You know they're ready for flipping when they're crispy and golden on the edges. So let's flip these bad boys over.
Those sure look pretty, Dani.
Thanks. Once the potato pancakes look like they are crispy and golden on both sides, I'm going to take them off the heat and put them on a paper towel lined cookie rack.
They look delicious, Dani.
I know, I can't wait to try them. Now, before you make the rest of them, if it looks like you need some more oil in your frying pan, then add the oil and wait for it to get to the proper temperature before you add more batter to it. Otherwise, it might fall apart and it won't crisp up as nicely. Once those potato pancakes are cooled, you are going to dress them. So I like to dress them with plain Greek yogurt. A lot of people use sour cream, but plain Greek yogurt has those live active cultures. It's a little bit healthier. So put some Greek yogurt on there. And then top it with some applesauce.
Yum.
I think my mother-in-law likes to try and eat food as much as I do.
I can help you out with these.
All right, you ready to try it?
Oh, yeah.
That one's yours.
All right.
You got a friend helping taste too. Ready?
Let me set that down. It's a little bit warm still, but it's delicious.
So good. Holidays are the perfect time of year to enjoy family favorites. Just remember to indulge in moderation. I'm Dani the dietitian. Till next time, live deliciously.